Okay, well, we can try this again. It's hours later. Hours later, it's 2:40 p.m. I really fucking hate Niantic. One thing, they did that whole update where the characters look fucking atrocious. The faces look terrible. They look like fucking, like just, I don't even know how to explain it. And they added certain hairs that, like, don't help me any to better customize my characters. Shit like, I don't know, like this. That's obviously not for a dude, that's for a lesbian. This is for people who think all black dudes need to have the same haircut, or guys that have that haircut. Y- You know exactly what that's for. Who's adding that hair? The same thing, but black women, or I mean, I guess they could have that hair. That looks ugly. Again, that looks like someone I went to Rogers TV with, except it's the male face. That looks like freaking Miss Frizzle. Maybe some of them are not bad. Okay, I'm gonna go back to what he had. But they changed so that they don't look particularly male or female. Actually, maybe I had the wrong face on. No, that face that I had on was just terrible. Oh yeah, number 7 is terrible. I'm gonna go back to 2. The eyebrows are still all black, and okay, so they're obviously pandering to that. You can't have you can't switch between genders. Obviously the excuse is, oh, they gotta pander to they gotta be, no, not pander, they wouldn't use that word, they representative, or they gotta represent fucking trans people. But what about the people who are gender fluid and want to go back and forth? By trying to appeal to certain audiences, you alienate others. You're you're appealing to one part of the trans community by alienating another, or someone who just thinks it's cool that you can have the male character and then go to the female and customize her and go back and forth. Maybe that's them being gender fluid and not realizing it, like me. Moving on. And okay, so let me just show you this shit. Instead of, like, instead of we live in a world where, instead of encouraging people who are overweight to go to the fucking doctor and listen to them and lose weight, unless you can't. We're like, okay, just put your fat body in Pokemon Go so it represents you. And those people who would be excited because of that are probably the people who complain to Niantic that the remote raid passes are not cheap. Why don't you get off your fat, lazy ass and go find a fucking gym? Either an actual gym or a Pokemon gym. Although you don't have to go to the gym to work out. Like, it's one thing if you're in the middle of nowhere or you're disabled. That, okay, you can complain about that. But if you're just too fucking lazy to get up off your ass and play Pokemon Go, then shut the fuck up. Everything does not have to appeal to everyone. It's called Pokemon Go, not Pokemon sit on your ass and play it. The point of it is to be different than the handheld games where you're sitting on your ass and playing a video game. You're supposed to be walking, or at least moving. You can fucking go in a car, as long as the driver's not playing. One of the passengers can use their phone and help them catch Pokemon, do whatever. And if you can't do that, then too bad. But you gotta whine because you can't sit on your ass and do the remote, or the raids? Or because you can't have your character look like a fucking big, fat, unhealthy pile of dog shit? Like, that's not thick, that's fat. The customization is also just terrible, and the preset bodies look terrible. Even the ones that are not overweight, and like these faces, like that's the classic male one, but like that obviously this is a male character, so it's just that you can't really see it well. You can't see the mouth very well. That like they look so blank and like they look so like weird. And the hair colors that they added are like light green, like a bunch of greens, purples, blues, pinks, like, the kinds of hair that people would, they would have blue and then they would go to this like that, You know exactly the kinds of people that want to play this game with their fucking certain hair. Like, I guess they added another orange, but it still looks. No, they already had orange. They added more colors, but I still can't make his hair look great. Actually, was that the original one? Because that's the other orange. That barely looks orange. Like, I'm not a redhead. This is Abraham Newton. Like, you could have, like, eye colors that just don't exist. Ow! But you think if they're appealing to fucking fat people, that they would make the raid passes cheaper. But that's all people complain about. Oh, the raid passes are too expensive. The remote raid passes are too expensive. Fucking get a job or stop whining. You're whining because the price of something in a game called Pokemon Go, a game that's meant to get you off the couch and outside exploring the outside world. Like, it's not 2020 anymore. Get off your fat, lazy ass and go outside. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ninjasaki, the people, it's not, they don't watch me. It's it's not 100 regular viewers. It's just accounts. Okay. I mean, my main account is Anti-HyperLink, so I don't really care about I don't, not too concerned about the subscribers on this account, but yeah, I know you watch me. And I had viewers the other day. I streamed for 4 hours, but most of that it was one episode of Tony Hawk's Underground 2, and I just like was talking for a long time about my book, my fiction, and then like politics, I think, and just a bunch of other stuff. And right now I'm politics, but like the thing that people call politics. People think anything that they don't like is political, or like anything that has to do with like diversity is political. It's not. But then people are like, since when is caring about human beings political? Always? Yeah, the governments are supposed to do things for you, not the other way around. From the people, by the people, for the people. But the governments don't care about you. They don't care about the people living in a country or a province or a state. They care about the people coming into the country and helping the economy when they could be helping people who need them in their own country. And I don't like I like that we are helping other countries like um Israel over Palestine. And but to do with that whole thing, if free Palestine means freedom from the clutches of the terrorist organization running them and treating them like shit and victimizing them almost as much as Israel is, then yeah, sure. If freedom from Israel defending themselves, then no. I mean, they should Israel should find a different way to kill the fucking terrorists that they're targeting and not just bombard a fucking public place with explosives, but they are defending themselves. And Ukraine, like sending support to Ukraine, people hate that. I don't, but I do when it comes to like bringing refugees from all these different places, whether it's Ukraine or the Middle East, into the country and giving them stuff, but there's still people living on the streets and still living in poverty and still waiting for ODSP to fucking pick up a goddamn phone and call them. When the government can support these people, they can allow people to come to the country and buy convenience stores and fast food chains and contribute to the economy, or bring their sick, dying relatives that have never contributed to our economy and take up all the beds in the hospitals and take advantage of our free healthcare system. But people working for ODSP are so behind on their applications that they can't answer their phones or return a fucking phone message. Oh, I already started this freaking episode of this, so this is going to be in the middle of it. Why is there no volume? Oh, there is. I wish I could have more than 8 profiles. That would be nice. I wish I could combine the Nick profile with the anti-hyperlink one, because some of my YouTube files are on anti-hyperlink and some of them are on Nick, and anti-hyperlink was originally Nick, but then I changed it to anti-hyperlink when I started using the switch for YouTube, and then I had to make Nick in order to do certain games because I had already used anti-hyperlink for my personal thing with Mario Bros. Wonder. Like, I've had 2 different caseworkers, and neither of them have ever returned a message that I have left them. My first caseworker, I don't know how many messages I left her, but she never got back. She has never returned a message that I've sent her. She's answered the phone and then acted like a fucking idiot, but they were so behind on their summer applications that it took months for me to get anyone to call me. Except they didn't call me. I called them. I was told no. I was given a call and told that I'd be called within 2 weeks. I didn't. I wasn't called 2 weeks later. I wasn't called 2 weeks later after that when I finally called the general line, asked what's going on, and then I was given my caseworker, and I left message after message after message, and then stopped for Christmas, and then left message after message after message, and then got a hold of them, and then I had to jump through a whole bunch of other bureaucratic loops that they probably knew I wasn't gonna what was gonna be successful anyways, and then message after message after message after message, and then my caseworker acting like she doesn't know what I'm talking about and forgetting things because she can't fucking write something down or type something down. Do I not have a profile? Do I not have a file that they can write things down in? Like, Nick is in Toronto receiving radiation treatment. Do they just not believe me? Well, I'm not. I live with my parents. I'm a male. I don't have children, so I don't have anyone depending on me. I'm not a woman. I'm white. So that's all those things where they're like, oh well, let's just put them to the bottom of the pile, or at least the not a single parent, not living on his own is that. If I was living on my own, I'd be on the streets right now, and I wouldn't have had any radiation. Like if my parents were dead, or like if I was living on my own at the time, I probably would have moved back in with them. But if I hadn't had my parents, so I had no family, I'd be homeless right now. I might be dead right now. I'd be dying of cancer on the streets of Barrie, unable to get to Toronto. I was never told that a decision had been made. I had to retrieve that information myself. I was told it when I called the general line. I've had to be the one to call ODSP. They called me once, to tell me that I would get a phone call, which I never received. There's been I've looked at this before and I've seen this post multiple times where someone asked how long ODSP takes. Someone said 6 fucking years. Another person said a few months. But one person said 6 fucking years. It's not going to take 6 years because I'm going to contact my local MP. If I have to, I'm going to contact frickin' Ford, or I'll frickin' go to frickin' Ottawa and bang down the door of the frickin' Parliament building and get Justin Trudeau to fucking change things. Except he's too busy be doing whatever everyone hates him for. Most of the things that everyone hates him for is not being hateful toward trans people. Or the education is like teaching children about things too early, like teaching sex education before I learned sex education, or at least basic sex education, like what a penis is and what a vagina is and reproductive things. It's okay to teach children that there are gay people. I don't know why people are so against that, just that, but I'm just so pissed off. I'm so sick of not having money. But it's not just that I don't have money, it's the fact that these fucking government workers are so fucking incompetent. Like, I had to call them and get my caseworker. I had to call them to find out what was going on with my application when I received a letter saying that something was not complete. I had to call them to see what was wrong with my or what's been going on with my application, what the process is because my caseworker wouldn't answer her fucking phone and wouldn't leave me a message after I left her message after message after message. And when I did get a hold of her, again, she acted like she didn't know what I was talking about and gave me my Barry caseworker, which she could have told me through her calling me and not the other way around. And then this new woman is exactly the same. She just doesn't pick up her phone and doesn't want to leave a message, doesn't want to return a phone call. How busy are these people that they can't return phone calls? Is that not part of their job? And I was going to go down there, like to the actual office on Monday, and then, well, my mom and dad said that I should, and then I kind of convinced my dad that it was a bad idea because what if I go down there and I'm not going to swear, but what if I say like, I've been leaving message after message after message, and this woman can't get back to me. I'm afraid of being told that I'm being abusive or I'm using abusive language or being too aggressive or whatever all this bullshit is nowadays, where you can't fucking get your back up or say anything to anyone without it being offensive or aggressive or abusive or harassment. So I did. I called Monday. I didn't call yesterday, and I haven't called today, and I don't care that I haven't called today. Maybe I'll call tomorrow. I shouldn't have to keep calling. The woman should do her fucking job and call me. And if they're that behind on their frickin' applications, they should hire new people. Look at all the fucking people that are on EI. Obviously, all they have to do is answer a phone call. They don't have to leave anyone a message after they're given a message. They don't have to write anything down. Fuck, I could work for them. If my disability doesn't prevent me from working, according to CPPD, the Canadian Pension Plan Disability people, then, well, give me a job working for ODSP, because I don't have to write anything down when someone wants to do ODSP. I don't have to answer the phone. I don't have to leave anyone a message. Well, sometimes I can answer the phone, but I don't have to return any messages. I basically can do fuck all. I'd love to get a cushy government job where I don't have to fucking do anything and get paid a whole bunch of money. I swear it's population control. Are they gonna wait until I'm so broke that 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 it's like I don't have anything and then they're gonna send me money? Like, I'm not anti-immigration, but shut down the fucking borders. Shut down the fucking borders and get people off the streets and homelessness and poverty, change the way we do things, and then get everyone else in the world to do that for themselves as well. Or like whoever's the first to end poverty in their own country or whatever, then start helping people. Or do both, balance it. Don't do more of one than the other, I suppose. But it seems that that the government, either Ontario or Canada as a whole, helps other countries more than they help their own people. The Ontario government doesn't seem to want to help anyone other than the people coming in and buying houses, a whole bunch of people living in it, and they pay off the house, and then they buy another house, and they buy a convenience store, and they buy a Wendy's and a McDonald's and a Tim Hortons, and they get their family members to work at it, and they changed like almost an entire plaza to Indian places. Like it's fine if Indians live in this country, I don't give a shit. Not like native Indians, like India Indians. I mean, obviously, I don't care if natives live here because it's their fucking land. Um, but like the entire plaza across from my street, like 99% of it is Indian food. When we moved here, there was like a chicken place, I think. There was a fish and chips place. There was a hair cutters. There was the pizza place is still there. Uh, I don't know what's changed. I forget. I think the driving school is now an Asian supermarket. The bar is probably where all of them hang out. The convenience store has always been run by Indians or whomever. The pizza place has always been run by either Greeks or Indians, or well, Greek is not Middle East. Uh, now they've been run by Indians for a long time, and the pizza place is actually pretty great. Like sometimes their pizza is fucking atrocious, where it's like so thin, there's like no sauce on it. It's fucking disgusting. But then another time, it's like amazing. So I don't know what's going on there. But like there's like 5 stores that are Asian based. It's fine if this country is multicultural, but it's not Asia. It's Canada, North American. I don't really see any people from North America going to India and Pakistan and China and just Asia and the Middle East and buying up stores and changing things to like pizza places and burger shops and fish and chips and stuff like that. I don't see anyone opening a fucking burger shop in India because they don't eat cows. Or maybe some of them do. Maybe it's not as it's specifically Hindus or something like that. It's refugees that are given things. It's not Indians that move here that are given things. Usually, a lot of the Indians or people from Pakistan that move here are using their parents' money, or like they go to college, but then they're cheating off of each other in class or in the exam. They're literally just sitting next to each other doing the exam together. I answered like okay, it wasn't really a friend, he was like an acquaintance. I like accidentally, not even realizing what I was doing, answered my I'm just gonna call my buddy. My buddy's question about an exam question. I just like didn't even realize what I was doing and said yeah, but we weren't sitting there working together, doing the exam together. Even after the frickin' professor was like, "No, you can't do that." And those are the people that are then tech support and whatever else. And then some of them are good. Some of them are great. One time, these people from Rogers came to install a cable box. There was this dude that was like German. He was a fucking asshole, and the guy that was with him was Indian, and he was a nice guy, and the guy that the asshole was being rude to him. So it's bad apples on every tree. But when people can shoot off fireworks on a day when it's illegal to shoot off fireworks because it's an Indian holiday, a Hindu holiday, and no one can say anything because they will be called racist or racially insensitive or anti-immigration or they'll be called a fucking Nazi or something like that. Like shooting off fireworks at 3 in the morning. There's like 2 days when you're allowed to do that, and it's not that day. If you want it to be that day, either petition that with the government, which people won't like that anyways, or go home, or go somewhere else. Celebrate it in a different way. You don't just get to do anything you want because you're a certain race. And that goes for white people as well. What's with this? Oh, let's turn the tables and make it so that instead of white people and men and straight people and et cetera, getting special treatment, then the people who aren't white, anyone who's not white, women, gay people, like trans people, et cetera, get special treatment. No one should get special treatment unless it's like you're disabled or unless it actually makes sense for you to receive special treatment. Like, it's not like 100% everyone should be treated exactly the same. If you're like disabled, then, not like if you're going to say don't treat anyone differently, then there wouldn't be wheelchair ramps. Well, there definitely should be wheelchair ramps because anyone in a wheelchair should be able to access any like public building or whatever else. I mean, it shouldn't go so far as to like you have to have a wheelchair ramp at your house. I don't know how that works. I suppose if you have like a family member or a friend who is going to be visiting a lot, you would have that installed yourself. Or you like people carry them. I don't know how that works. Hmm. Like the steps that I have are not like steps, so those wouldn't be too hard for someone to just like lift the back of the wheelchair or the people with them to lift them. I'm not actually sure, but that's not what I'm talking about. And like if I'm sounding that I want to receive special treatment, well, I have cancer and neurofibromatosis. I am taking pills that make me tired all the time. I'm constantly in pain and constantly uncomfortable. And I'm not just thinking about myself. It's been since July, so how many people who applied for ODSP before and after that are still waiting for a call or any word from their caseworkers? How many people are going through exactly the same thing as I am, or and don't have the benefit of living with their parents? Like they lived in an apartment and their parents can't afford to have them move back in or something like that, or their parents are dead. Like they're a lot older than me and their parents have passed on. Like if I didn't have my family and I was living on my own, I would probably be dead right now. or I'd be homeless, dying of cancer, like I said, because I would have not been able to have the first surgery. I wouldn't know that the cancer's coming from my spine. I wouldn't know that the cancer's coming from anywhere. Well, no. If I had gone to the doctor and then they said cancer, then I probably would have been able to get the first surgery because I would have been able to get to the I would have been able to get to the first surgery maybe, but after that, money runs out, rent and all that, and then living, and then wanting to buy things for yourself. I suppose I would have to like cut down on things, but I wouldn't be able to work. I wouldn't be able to go to school, just like I can't now. I mean, I could probably go to school online, but I can't work. I would really like to know the exact excuse that CPBD has for me not for me being able to work. Where? If I get a job, then give me that job. Then tell me exactly where you fucking think I can work. It's already been 31 minutes, more minutes of me fucking complaining about this. Maybe I should just reset the whole fucking episode of Pokemon Shield and no, because I already did an intro this morning and was starting to get into it, and then I was in fucking pain and not wanting to do anything. Link is Jamie Forrest. So what I'm gonna do is have like I don't think I've oh hold on. Oh, let me just do that. The way I've done it with the accounts up there with the trio. Jason has grass type Pokemon, maybe rock and ground, but now I've kind of tweaked it in my head or with ChatGPT. Poison, flying, like things that kind of connect to archery and thievery and nature. Uh, Olivia's water type and fairy type. And that's about it. They could all have normal types as well. Uh, Abraham's fire and rock, ground. I suppose Abraham can have rock and Jason can have ground because it involves soil, which connects to nature and not and rocks as well. And I'm figured out that his father has kind of like they all have magic. They're all capable of doing anything, but it's his mother is more of a nature uh mage, and his father's more of like an earth mage or sorcerer, sorceress, or wizard or witch or warlock or whatever you want to say. Like I'm grateful that I'm living with my parents and that I have clothing and heat and shelter and food and water and all that, but I'm not happy. I'm allowed to not be happy even though I have all that. When is it my turn to be happy? Oh, ow! Ow! Maybe I should just not fucking play Pokemon Shield yet. It was in my fucking toe. That one was going off earlier. Hope I am not disturbing my frickin' cat that's sleeping down here. I mean, she can go upstairs and sleep. Chrissy, are you okay, baby girl? I obviously haven't woken her up. Jack's upstairs. Is there something new here? That really pisses me off. put so many things on the bullshit list like this, and I barely got through that at all before I was like, I'm not fucking doing this. There's that hog riding level. This I think I put on there because I kind of fucked up with I don't know which account I started on, and I might have started on one and then kept going on another, or I'm pretty sure I started on Nick, but then the where I'm at in the levels didn't make any sense, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Uh, See, stuff like Don't Starve and Stardew Valley is like a never-ending thing. I think there is a end game for Stardew Valley, but Minecraft not on here, but would be never-ending. Dead in Bermuda is like a never-ending thing. What was the other one that I put on there today? Like online games, Guild Wars, Elder Scrolls Online, which I put on my computer. Okay. Welcome one and all. Welcome to the wonderful world of Pokémon. Our beloved Galar region is a wonderful place. Hold on. Beloved Galar region is a wonderful place with thriving nature, beautiful cities, and many Pokémon with which we share our lives. You still can't hear me. Oh, no, you can't. Never mind. I have this thing on. Like, no matter what, the fucking thing is in the red when I talk, but then it... Then it like my voice doesn't sound loud enough, even when I don't have this on, and I'm not listening on this shit computer. As you know, our society is able to... Everyone is gonna have the same English voice, by the way, probably. As you know, our society is able to thrive. They're all gonna sound like this. Why do they all sound like they're in fucking Fable? Why don't you run along and play with your chemistry set? As you know, our society is able to thrive thanks to help from these mysterious creatures that we call Pokémon. Yes, Pokémon are all around us, in the sea, in the sky, and even with us in our towns. And those of us who choose to raise and train Pokémon to do battle and compete, we call Pokémon trainers. And where am I? I'm gonna catch up. Ow! Wow! Oh, but I'm getting carried away. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rose, and it is a pleasure to be here. Now turn your gaze to the Galar region's greatest Pokémon trainer, your undefeated champion. It's time for Champion Leon's exhibition match. Wow! Exhibition or not, Leon, your pristine record is about to end when I beat you here today. You know I don't lose battles, Ryan. Charizard, Dynamax! This game makes no sense at all. The Dynamax and the Gigamax and whatever the fuck it is just makes no sense. It's just another fucking gimmick. They could have just kept frickin' Mega Evolution, especially because it's, I don't know, England and then Spain. Or no, Alola was Hawaii, so that's different, but they could have still kept it. But no, I guess it doesn't matter that it's Europe. It should just still be the same fucking... not making it a gimmick. making Mega Evolution seem like a bad gimmick. Oh, it's me sitting on my phone watching it, and everything is Rotom now. Or Jimmy's sitting on his Rotom phone. Or sitting on the couch, watching his Rotom phone, holding it. He's not sitting on it. That would not, you wouldn't be able to see anything then. That would be a shit way of that would be a shit way of watching the game. Hello, hello! Oh, that your flash new phone, Jimmy? Were you watching Lee's exhibition match on it? But you can't cheer him on with your hands full. You know, the only way to properly cheer on Lee would be with his famous Charizard pose. It's just, yeah, I guess it's an English version of Jimmy. So where's Jason? And where's Dad? There's 3 coats there. Two sets of boots. Why is she wearing boots indoors? Hop, didn't expect you to see you today, dear. Isn't this the big day? Yeah, that's exactly why I came running over to get Jimmy. Never mind watching the match now. I've got it recording at home anyway. I record all my brother's matches. Ow! Come with me, Jimmy. He should be here any minute. And Lee always brings presents when he visits, so I wouldn't forget the bag if I were you. Now I've got to run. See you at mine later. Ow! Ow!